Episode number next. I'm
Amy.
Welcome to Live on Location.
Yep.
We're in
Destin,
Florida. We're in Destin, Florida this week, and we're just going to do a live stream and just do a Q&A since we are on location. We didn't really have a topic planned.
We hope you can hear us.
We hope you can hear us. Please let me know if you can't hear us. You can see the background. That's the beautiful white sands of Destin, Florida.
The emerald waters.
Yep. We did make the trip down Saturday. It took us about 11 hours to make an 8-hour drive. Had dogs getting sick and all kinds of good stuff.
Son getting sick.
Yeah, so it was good.
Yeah.
So I actually brought a small box full of whatever tools I could pack in it. It's like this big. And we'll make a video using very simple tools to make a project in the bed of my truck. I think it'll be cool.
3, 2, 1 thing?
Yeah, you can.
All right. So we're doing a 3, 2, 1 video. It's going to be 3 tools, 2 hours, 1 project.
That's right.
It's going to be, we're going to start something called our 3, 2, 1 videos.
Yep.
Where you can use 3 tools under 2 hours to make 1 project. So that's something new we're going to start trying. 3 simple tools to do that with. So those are going to be our 3, 2, 1 videos. You see his face over there. He's like, get the dog, get the dog.
She's like,
yeah, our grand dog. She's on the door.
local wood from the local Home Depot, 4321.
Yeah. So we're going to, can y'all hear us?
Yeah,
hopefully.
They
Okay.
said they could.
Okay, good. The waves are really crashing in behind us. So
I mean, I got to show you this because
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the laptop. Check this out, y'all. If you've never been to the Gulf Coast, especially the Destin area,
it's beautiful
it's just
here.
it's
Oh
like
gosh.
I don't know. It's
We
just
come
beautiful.
every year. Yeah.
We try to come every year as much as possible, but
COVID stopped us from coming when it got in 2017.
no,
What?
2020.
2020. I don't know. I'm thinking 2017. In 2020, when it shut everything down, we didn't get to come that year, and we were miserable.
Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah. But
Everybody was.
it shut everybody down. You know, everybody was miserable. And then
Yeah.
the year I broke my arm, we didn't get to come, and so that was horrible. But yeah, it's beautiful here. So.
Yep, it's nice.
But
If you have any questions as far as woodworking goes, you can ask. If you haven't entered the Festal Top Rock giveaway, please go watch the previous video to this and enter that giveaway because I've got 2 to give away.
4321 says it would be neat to find a local hardwood dealer
Yeah.
here to incorporate. So that might be something neat for the next time.
Yep, next time. So this one I'm
Yeah.
just going to use for this project. We're just going to use stuff you can get at your home store, and I've already got plans made for it. I've got the plans with me, and I'm going to build along with those plans so that I can ensure they're correct. And then once I put the video out, those plans will go out with them. Super simple, but I think it's going to be a cool project.
They like the 3, 2, 1 idea. Damon, tonight's show will be our 30 minutes unless, y'all don't want us to be on here longer. I mean, this long. We were going to cut it short if you couldn't hear us or if the Wi-Fi doesn't hold up. There's a lot of people on the Wi-Fi here. So if the Wi-Fi doesn't hold out for us, then it may get cut short. But other than that, the 30 minutes that we're trying out for.
Yep.
It is a beautiful place, Aprilla.
Yeah, it's really nice here. Yeah, I'm giving 2 of the top rocks, and I kept getting comments. I actually got pretty frustrated.
Yeah, he really
day
did.
before it was Sunday and Monday because I just kept getting emails and comments about me being sponsored by Festal and all this stuff, just like tons and tons of them. But I purchased the Festal Top Rock myself after I heard it at All Red Woodworking's workshop. I love the way it sounded. I told her that when she come in the shop that day, I said, I got to get one of these. And so I ordered it online. It shipped to me, and I was talking to her. I said, I like this thing so much. I'd love to give them away. What do you think about letting me give away 2 of them?
No, that's not how that went.
I said, let me give one away or something like that.
No, you're fibbing there. Thank you, Kevin King. Thank you. No, what he did, he said, hey, do you mind if we give one of these away? And I said, I'd be okay with that. So he goes out into the shop and he makes his video. He comes inside.
I felt led to give.
He comes inside. This is why people say we talk over each other.
What do you say?
Because
what do you say?
You fib and then I have to talk over you. So hush. So he comes in the house and he's editing, and on his computer I hear him say, I love these things so much I'm giving a couple of them away. And I said, I was in the kitchen, and I said, what did your computer just say? Did you say 2 of them? And he said, huh? And I hear his computer say it again as he's in the editing process. And I said, did your computer say 2 or 1? And he said, oh, it said 2. And I said, I thought we were giving 1 away. And he said, well, the computer said 2. And I said, that's your voice on the computer.
Yep.
And he said, oh, well, I can go refilm that because the computer said 2. And I said, yeah, that computer didn't film that. You did. And
Couldn't help it.
He said, well, I can refilm it because I felt led to say 2. And I said, well, did you feel led to talk to me about it first, or did you just feel led to wait? And he was like, well, I can go refilm it. I said, no, it's okay.
It's one of those ask for forgiveness.
Yeah.
Type thing.
You wasn't going to say anything. So you
better than 1, though, right?
You better tell the truth about that.
2 is always better than 1. God's good works. 2 is always better than 1.
Yeah. Yes, I was shushing him. That's right. God is good. I was shushing him. Yeah, but he did. He took a lot of hate over that. But let me say this.
Yeah, so somebody commented a while ago and said, does Festool sponsor anyone? I don't know. I've never seen a Festool sponsored video that I'm aware of. So
okay, but look, car stereos. I haven't bought one of those in many, many, many years. But I know that people pay for sound systems for their vehicles that cost way more than that.
So a lot of people was talking about the Festool, that it was too expensive as a shop radio. And even in the video, I pointed out that there are other options out there like DeWalt and Milwaukee that have more expensive ones. Mm-hmm. And in all fairness, those for a shop radio are probably better because they're weather sealed and all that. But I like the way the Festool sounded. So, okay.
He did not get sponsored in any way. This money came straight out of our pockets. It did not come out of anything else. It came out of our pockets.
So
it was not sponsored.
If you haven't entered, go enter.
It did not come from another person. It did not come from some secret somewhere else. It came straight from him, okay, or from us. So he did take a lot of hate over that, but it really did come from his heart, okay?
I do like him. This thing sounds good.
It really did.
I really wanted
it. David said that Tommy Mulaney is, I don't know if I'm saying that right, is sponsored by Festool.
I don't know. I'm sure they do somebody, but they don't me. I can assure you.
Yeah, they definitely don't sponsor us in any form or fashion. So, thank you, Bruce. I wish we could have a beach background more often.
Yeah, me too. It's been really good here. So the weather is, the water is crystal clear. It's probably the clearest I've ever seen it here, and we've been coming for a long time. Usually in June, you wind up with a little bit of seaweed. I overheard somebody talking, saying that it was 2 weeks ago you couldn't get in the water because of the seaweed. But right now, it's crystal clear. Like you can see, we saw something floating out there. It was a manatee or
it was huge.
Or a blue whale. I don't know. It was big.
It was so huge.
Swimming down the coast. You could see it from on top of the water. I had my GoPro. I stuck it under the water, and I couldn't. It was too far away. You couldn't see it, but it was pretty neat.
It was cool. Thank you, George. We're enjoying it. Hey, Becca. Yes, we do get the hate over stuff like that, but man, we have gotten here lately. It seems like he's gotten so much more hate thrown at him. It's crazy. But you know what?
It's all right.
Man, it's
Miss Lisa in the description of this video on YouTube. I actually put the link to the Festool Top Rock video, or you can just go to youtube.com/731 Woodworks, and in the videos list you'll see the Top Rock review. Festool Top Rock review and giveaway is the name of the video. Click on that and it'll tell you everything you need to know about how to enter.
I'll tell you this, there's different perspectives that you can take this stuff from. When we drove down here on Saturday, we got up super early because we wanted to get a head start like everybody wants to do, you know. When they're leaving for vacation, everybody's excited, and we got a super early start, and we tried to think about everything we were going to bring in ahead of time. got the dogs packed, the truck packed, got everything going. We got started, and about 30 minutes in, Mo's dog started puking
It wasn't
everywhere.
30.
It probably wasn't 30.
20.
And she puked everywhere, and I mean, all down the door of his truck inside. And then went into
Full
every
cup holder.
yeah, went into every pocket and every crevice that you could imagine that it could
electric
go
window
into.
switch.
And so it ended up putting us severely behind, and then we get it all cleaned up and we're going down the road, and then she starts doing it again, and it gets back into even more crevices and back into the ones that have been cleaned. And we get all that cleaned up, and that gets better. Well, then our oldest son gets car sick. Well, then he starts getting sick, and we have to pull over, and he's puking everywhere. And it just seems like everything is getting crazy and funky. And an 8-hour trip turns into an 11-hour trip. And we finally get here, and we can't get into our condo for like 3 hours because we were too early to get in. We didn't realize that the door for it wouldn't open until a specific time. We finally get into our condo, and the pictures were taken in such a way that it made the condo look okay. And y'all, this is the worst condo I've ever seen in my life, but the view is amazing, but the condo is really bad.
Thank you, Mr. Clark.
And so we were in a really bad mood, and it was really crappy. And we didn't even get to touch the sand until like halfway through the next day. We get down there on the beach, and we're all kind of moody, and we're all feeling kind of crappy, and I'm having asthma attacks, and I'm having to use my inhaler. Literally had an asthma attack the first time we walk into the condo. And everybody's perspective is negative and bad. Get down there, and I meet this lady, and she ends up being a nurse, and she's kind of talking to me, and she shares a story with me about her son. Her son, 8 years ago, got shot and killed. Her oldest son, as a teenager, got shot and killed. And she starts sharing the story of how at his funeral, was it 6 young men?
Yeah, I think so.
6 young men at his funeral found God and got saved. And start sharing that story with me about how it was 8. Mo's telling me, she's motioning through to 8 young men got saved at his funeral, and starts telling me how she's putting in the chat how he's living in a much better place than we are now, and how that strength gets her through everything. And it's all perspective.
Yeah, it's perspective.
And I'm like, we're complaining about a dog puking in a truck and a condo being crappy, and she said her son got killed, you know, and she's still looking at the world and looking at this and seeing this and all its beauty, and you know, so all this hate comes in through these emails, and none of that matters. Look at this. Look at the beauty of things. So don't let any of that bad stuff. Think about that. She's seeing the beauty in her son's death, and we have to remember that sometimes. Look at the beauty in the ashes, because that's what we don't do. And there's gnats too.
Yeah,
there's gnats in Florida too.
Not mosquitoes though.
No, but look at the beauty in the ashes of the stuff around us, because that's what we forget sometimes.
Yep.
And that lady has come and checked on me every time I've been on the beach.
Has.
She's come and checked on me every time I've been on the beach, and it's pretty cool. So.
You got a gnat in your
ear? Yeah, no.
I saved you.
Yeah, these gnats. Look at that.
The weather's really good.
Time to remodel the condo.
The weather is really nice here. It's very, very nice. Well, the problem with the condo was we waited. Well, we thought we was booking early, but it was all booked up. I'm assuming because COVID had everything locked down for so long, now everybody was trying to book early, so we're going to book further out. So, thank you, Mr. Barry.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Barry. These gnats,
there
are like gnats and flies. There's not very many of them, but when you find one, they just pester you to death. Did you tell them what the type of following you have in Florida?
No, I have a.
He's found a whole new
feeling.
following.
Yep. So in the ocean, I got a whole school of fish to follow me around all day.
He gets in there and they just float up to him and they follow him wherever he goes.
Yeah, they just stick to me. They're my friends.
It's so weird. I was trying to read the stuff.
If you have any woodworking questions, I'll be happy to answer anything you got.
Damon said they stayed in a hotel like that before. Pics looked gorgeous.
Yeah.
But it was light blue apartments, and it was this. The pictures did not make this. I don't know if y'all have ever watched the show The Middle, with the Hex, the house that the Hex lived in, but everything was broken. But that's kind of like this condo. Everything is like falling apart. The washer, it sounds like somebody's breaking in on you when you run it, and Mo's dog barks at it every time we run the washer because it sounds like someone's beating your door in.
Like it's like boop, 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 boop.
It sounds like somebody's beating your door in, but you know what? It still washes the clothes.
Hey,
they get clean. So hey.
Murphy says, "What's the first project that you sold that once you priced, you immediately felt like you left money on the table? How do you adjust your pricing method to correct that?" So all the very, very first ones, probably the first 6 to 8 months, maybe more, I was way underpricing them, and I started asking her, like, "What would you price this?" And she's like, "I don't know. That looks like about $450." And I was like, "Oh, well, I told them $200."
Yeah,
it was way low, like really, really low
every time.
And so, but I was trying to get the job and the experience, so I was okay with it when I started out. But yeah, you just adjust as you go. Just make sure you're making a profit on it for the most part. We already covered all that stuff.
I was just going to.
I'm very, very bad about underpricing things. So you just kind of take how much your lumber costs. Don't forget all your consumables. Add all that stuff up. Your time. So yeah.
Where were you at? Right there.
Yeah.
Marion Dorset said, "How can I sand inside curves without a drum sander?"
You can use a rotary tool. That's what I used for a long time. So like a Dremel is a common term for them. I bought a Win model. They have little drum sanders. You can sand inside that. They're actually very expensive. I think the Win was like $20 or $30. Like they're very, very cheap. Thank you, Mr. Jim.
Thank you, Mr. Jim. Wish we had the buttons to push.
Yeah.
We don't have our buttons.
That's it. Super chat.
At least we got the sound of the ocean waves in the background. That's a pretty good sound.
Michael, so we have stuff on the website for sale. We have some trays available. I can't talk. We have some trays available, mallet templates, of course our plans, board butter, stuff like that we're selling on the side. As far as woodworking stuff locally, I just don't have time to do it right now. So I'm just doing YouTube and that.
Go back up here. Lloyd's in the house tonight.
Lloyd's in the house. Yeah, we're in Destin, Florida. Some people are asking.
Oh, yes, Destin, Florida. Where were we at?
Way down there.
Way down there? Are you sure?
Yeah, I went all the way back to the bottom.
No, right here. So that a boy said, the debate, is using a CNC considered woodworking?
I think it is.
Yep.
I think it's just as much. I mean, is it automated? Yeah, but you have to tell it what to do. It's cutting wood.
It's difficult too.
It's not. It's just another tool, in my opinion. It's not like, I don't know. It's just a tool. It's like a table saw, a miter saw, a router, any of that stuff. It's a tool you can use to help your business. So.
Hey, Mr. Jackie says his wife gets to celebrate 26 years of happy anniversary.
You guys are being way too generous. Thank you very much.
Aw, thank y'all.
Nobody's recognized me. I'm not that famous.
That's funny.
Awesome, Swamp Fox. Keep me posted. He's going to use the plans to build his first project. So be sure and send me a picture of that when you get it done.
Hey, maybe that's why you're so popular in the ocean. Maybe the fishies are recognizing.
Maybe the fish know.
Maybe the fish know, yeah.
It's possible. I got a bunch of them out there.
It's the weirdest thing. Yep. He says he's their leader.
No, I'm their king.
Oh, the king. Yeah,
I'm not the pocket hole king. I'm the fish king now.
He's the fish king. They hang around his back.
Yeah, they just
like
hang
he can turn and they stay at his back in this little group. It's so weird. Look at Mia. She is wanting out here.
Yeah.
She's so weird. Best way to figure a price is cost plus time times 1.5. That's what Michael Kirst says. A lot of people do use formulas for
Yeah.
theirs. They use different formulas. Um, we have a pricing video.
Brian Ledford says, does your mallet CNC file have all 3 pieces or just the center? I want to say it has 3, but it may only have the center. I'm almost certain it has 3. I'll check on it. I'm almost certain it has 3. I haven't looked at it in a while. But the one, I cut mallets out of it with all 3 pieces, so I'm almost positive it has 3. The file that's on the website.
Jason Priestler, he says,
hey, Jason.
Matt, what's your favorite scripture that helps keep you going when you're in a slump?
That's a good one.
That's a very good one.
Yep.
Is Miss Anna on
here? Yeah. I like Philippians 4, is it
4:13?
Yeah. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I love that one. I really like, for whatever reason, Matthew 5 always stands out to me. It's the Beatitudes, the Sermon on the Mount. The whole Matthew 5 is very, very powerful. But I really like the Matthew 5:14 where you're almost, I think it's 14. Don't quote me. Go look it up. It's to talk about you're a light of the world. The city on the hill cannot be hidden. So that's kind of I don't know. I like that. That's probably one of my favorites.
You mean me? She's warm out here.
One of my favorite stories in the Bible, since we're on that, is I just read it too again in Genesis, is where Jacob fights the angel, or it even says fights the Lord through the night. He touches his hip and makes his hip go dislocated, and he's telling him to let him go, and Jacob still won't let him go. Like, I love that. I don't know. It's like the struggle, and he's not willing to give up. That he's just going to hold on. He's like, I'm holding on till you bless me. Paraphrasing, of course, but he's hanging on for dear life. And it didn't even matter that he's in severe pain because his hip just got dislocated. He's still going to hang on until he wins the fight. That's awesome. Jacob's my man. I like him. He's a good dude. When I get to heaven, I'm going to go see Jacob.
When he tells Matthew to come, and he just goes.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. He's like, come, Matthew. He just leaves the tax counter and goes, that's mine. I love that. He's like, I don't need to collect taxes anymore.
PJ says, when wanting to do shiplap wall, what do you prefer to use? Anyone can answer. We actually did that. We have a video on that, a faux shiplap wall. We used 1/4-inch plywood and ripped it in 5-inch strips, if I'm not mistaken. And we just took a brad nailer and brad nailed it to the sheetrock. It's held up there fine. It's been up there a year and a half or so, sometimes more. We actually did it to the ceiling in our dining room and put the same shiplap look up there. You just paint it whatever color you want before you attach it to the wall. It looks really good.
And it stayed. A lot of people, we were worried that it might come down too. But it has stayed.
Yep.
It's done
well.
Great. PJ is saying when wanting...
I just did that.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know that was the question. Did you say her name?
Yeah.
Oh. Sorry, PJ. I was paying attention to my grand dog. She's over.
Jacob, what is the first jig or sled you would build for your shop if you're starting over? My table saw sled, I use that all the time. It's one of the most used jigs I have in the shop.
Bring her to me.
She gonna stay in there?
She's just bad. I can't concentrate. She's wanting me so bad.
Jen Fry Adventure says, how long do you soak your cutting boards before putting the board butter on them?
Oh, sorry.
I usually soak them. I like to soak them for at least an hour or two if you can fit them in the bucket. If they don't fit, then there's really not a whole lot you can do. I just splash the mineral oil up on there as much as I can.
Hey, Miss Cheryl. That water is amazing.
It's nice. It's really nice.
Thank you, Richard.
Jessica Porchell, any tips for starting a woodworking business? Yeah. So just start selling. You got to figure out what's going to sell in your area. And that's the main thing, is to not, basically don't get paralysis by analysis. Just start building stuff and figure out what's selling, whether that be a cutting board or bigger projects. Once you start finding your market, the business will start driving itself, really. You just got to find something that sells.
Now he's wanting to bring Coda out here. No. No. How many coffees have you enjoyed on that balcony? Oh,
well, there's a story about that.
Yeah, no. There's a long story behind that, but so I'm not drinking coffee anymore. I've not drank coffee in several weeks, actually. But no, don't start that. No. Oh, there's a dog down there. Oh. There's a dog down there.
Hi, Mia.
Oh, sorry. I'm a move. There's a dog down there. So that bronchitis that I had several weeks ago that reignited my asthma. We think that maybe it had some COVID tied into it or something, and it left my taste buds a little turned toward coffee, and don't drink it anymore. So he's trying to get off the coffee with me too. Yeah.
Marion says, when you made your outdoor furniture, did you use regular 2x6s or treated? I use regular. I don't care for treated lumber for furniture builds like that, because when they start drying, they start twisting real bad, and just they basically gets cracks in them and splits. You know how an old deck looks? It'll do the same thing when you use it for furniture. I don't like that, so I just use regular and then put a good outdoor, I think it was Cabot outdoor wood oil on there. That worked the best for me.
Oh, thank you, God.
What sells? David says, what sells best on your online store? Our mallet templates do well, and our board butter does well.
PJ, she's not a Bashan. My sister actually has a Bashan. Mia is a Havanese. They're really close to the Bashans. They're in that same family. She's a Havanese, though.
Yep.
She cute as a button, but she needs a haircut real bad.
She barks.
She barks all the time, and every time that washer goes, she barks.
Yep. She's always barking.
Yeah, she cute as she can be, though. She loves her Nana. She wants to be with me all the time. Oh, Stephen, thank you. It says, I forgot tonight was Tuesday. I try to watch it even if I'm working, which I am. I'll catch it on the podcast later.
So for tomorrow's project, my son and I are going to go to Home Depot and buy, I think it's going to take 4 8-foot 2x4s and 3 8-foot 1x2s. And we're going to try and not get arrested or run off the Home Depot parking lot, because I don't think I can actually build it here in this parking lot without getting in real trouble. So we're going to try to actually cut all the stuff. I brought a circular saw and like a drill and a driver, and that's it. That's all the tools I got. So I'm going to try to cut all the lumber in the Home Depot parking lot and not get in trouble. So we're going to see if we're going to video.
Asking them?
No, I'm not asking. You know how we just talked about that? It's better to ask forgiveness than permission. That's what we're going to do. We'll see how it goes.
Drop in the chats if you think he should ask for permission.
I'm not asking.
Do any of y'all work at any of these places? Anybody got any experience working at a Home Depot, or know somebody that works at a Home Depot? Or
building something in the parking lot.
Or building in a parking lot. Anything?
It's
any
fine.
advice about that? I don't know. I need to see something in the chats about that. Mo, I don't need you to chat in. I need some.
Yeah,
tell them won't fit in the car. Damon,
see, Lloyd got my back. Don't ask.
Damon, you tell me what you think.
Don't ask. Everybody's saying, don't
Let me
ask.
See what Damon says. Because whatever Damon says, you need to do the opposite of what he says. Damon, what do you think?
See, David says,
Miss
cutting
Andy,
down lumber is normal in the Lowe's parking lot.
That's normal?
Are we assembling
Lord,
at the condo? I think
PJ said, I'll just do it.
I think that I'm going to cut it there, cut all the pieces H2 from our plans. H2 makes our plans, if you don't know. So we're going to use our plans that we come up with, or cut out all the pieces in the Home Depot parking lot, and then come here and just glue it and screw it together.
Steph said, if we get in too much, or if y'all get in too much trouble, just call her.
Awesome.
Miss Ann says to do it. I do trust Miss Ann.
So the premise of the video is to be able to take, because I get comments sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes say that they don't have these tools to make stuff with. So this is very basic, like circular saw, drill, driver, that's it. We're going to make something awesome.
Okay, so Damon is saying ask, and I think he's only doing that because I said do the opposite of what he says. I think he's trying to, I think he's trying to use reverse psychology here. I don't trust you now. I think you're only doing that because I said that.
It's just sawdust. I mean, it's going to blow away, right?
Mark said I did some cutting.
Since I don't work there no more, I'll tell you this story real quick.
Oh, Lord.
When I was a state trooper, I had a assignment in Little Rock, and I was done with the assignment and coming home, right? so I was free to go. It was on my own time. So I wanted a table saw real bad. Okay. And I had finally saved up enough money to get my table saw. So I go to Home Depot and bought the rigid table saw, the big one. Like the first thing I bought was the rigid one. I had to take it back it was messed up, but this is a different story for a different day. I bought that rigid, and when I got it to the police car, because that's what I was driving, it would not go in the back seat. So I had to unbox that thing and put it in pieces in the back seat. And as a matter of fact, 2 guys stopped and helped me put it in there because I couldn't get it in there by myself. And then when I got home, I had to have my kids help me unload it. So.
Somebody said, "Let Dylan drive while you build it in the back." That's
That would be a challenge.
terrible idea.
That is awesome. We're
no,
doing that.
it's not. No, you're not.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious.
Hey, you know what time it is?
Power tip time.
What's the power tip?
Well, the power tip is perspective, right? So we was talking about perspective earlier.
There you go.
I've gotten, man, I don't know. If for some reason, it feels like this week has been more
Damon, I agree.
negativity
It's
and
a great
hate
name.
on the comments and the emails. Like I got an email that was as long as from here to the ocean. It seemed like it was just telling me everything I was doing wrong, and that stuff gets to you whether you want it to or not. It really affects you until you change the way you're thinking about things, or the way you're looking at things. And that I think that we all fall in that trap. Our perspective sometimes is wrong. We're looking at things the wrong way. Why me? Always me? That sort of thing. Instead of look at everything that's good in your life versus everything that's going wrong. I think it just, when you change your perspective, it changes your mind. So that's what I think. What do you think? Perspective. Power tip.
So I said that this condo, for instance, it's a really rundown condo, but perspective. The condo is right there. It's in front of us where we're sitting right now. It's really run down, but here's perspective. I can look this direction and I can see the rundown condo, but I can also look right there. And
Yeah,
I see
the
something
view's amazing.
completely different. So, but I can still look in there and I can see a rundown condo, but it's got running water. It's got a machine that sounds like somebody's breaking down the walls. Yeah, washing machine. But it gives me clean clothes. It's got a dryer that's...
Take a bath. You can drink clean
it's
water.
a little nutty too, but it dries my clothes. It's got a sink where I can wash dishes. I have not tried the dishwasher and I don't want to, but I can hand wash dishes. I grew up without a dishwasher. I prefer hand washing dishes. He thinks I'm nuts, but I just do.
I don't like doing it either. I hate dishes.
I don't know. I hand wash a lot of dishes at my
I hate
house.
washing dishes and cutting the grass.
He thinks I'm nuts. I hand wash most of our dishes. I just do that. But it's got a bathtub where I can take a bath. It's got a shower where I can take a shower. It's got actually a nice TV.
Yeah.
It's got a couch we can sit on. The blankets are really sketchy.
Yeah, I think one of them's got a blood stain on it.
Yeah, they're really sketchy. So I sleep in a sweatshirt because they keep the air on. The air's a little, and there's a few sketchy things, but it's it's okay because I can get up in the morning, I can walk out, and I can walk right there. Perspective. I can't cook on the stove because I think it's from 1970.
Yeah, it is. It's all right.
The burners are like this instead of this. Okay, they're not flat. They're like this. I don't think a pot would stay on it because they're the old kind, and I think somebody accidentally lopsided them at some point. But the fridge stays cold. The fridge is clean and it stays cold, so I can put cold stuff in there. I can't cook, and I love to cook at the beach, so I'm not getting to cook this year, but that's okay. That means that I go out to eat, and there's some good places here to eat.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
perspective.
Chris Helms, I ain't asking for permission. I'm going to go in there and buy that lumber. We're going to go to the parking lot. We're going to lay it all out, make our marks, cut everything, and then hightail out of there, come back to the condo, and then build it in the parking lot, and then use it. You have to wait for the video to see what it is.
Don't ask for permission.
Yeah, they don't want me to ask. I'm not asking, because if you ask, they're going to say no. So.
Is the fridge big enough to hold the bodies? I know it's your vacation, but I'm 45 minutes from. Aw, can you come help me build something, Chad? That's cool. Our dishwasher is going out along with a lot of other things at our house. Water. Yeah, that
Thank you, great grandpa.
Oh, that stuff goes out at our house all at once, every time. We just had to replace dishwasher,
Happens every time.
stove,
Washer and dryer.
washer, dryer.
That's all. Just stop there.
Was that all this
Microwave.
time? Microwave. I knew it was one other thing.
5 of them. All
It was
just
all
back to back to back to back.
It always happens that way at our house, and so it's always that way. And it feels like when it happens like that, it just feels like it's all so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's so difficult when that happens, and like we lumped it. I tell you what, you want to talk about perspective. Our kids, they never. I don't remember them complaining about it. I don't remember. They may have, but I don't remember it. Our dog, it took us a while to finally buy what we thought was a nice TV for our living room, and our standard poodle hit it with his nose, and it put like this huge.
It broke it.
It broke. Well, it still came on, but it put like this big line all the way through the center, ran up and down the middle, a vertical. It started out just being a vertical in the middle of it, and it was pretty thick, and we watched it that way for like 2 or 3 years, and it started being a little bit horizontally across it. And our kids watched it. We watched TV like that for 2 or 3 years.
People come over and be like, "What's wrong with your TV?"
They were like, "Why don't you just replace it?"
We never see it.
And we were like, "We just watch TV through it," and people thought we were nuts, but
we had no money to replace it.
We didn't have the money to replace it, and so we just watched it that way. And people were like, "Y'all are crazy. Why don't you just replace it?" And we were like, "Because there's so many other things that are so much more important to us than that." Like, we see what's going on the TV.
Yeah.
We can tell what's going on. And we knew that if we replaced it with another TV, he was just going to do it again.
Yep.
And so we were like, in our mind, it's fine. In our perspective, that's not what was important. So
Ronnie wants to know if the project's going to float. We don't know. We'll try and see what happens. I would say no. Although
that would be interesting.
It's made out of wood, so it should, right? It should float.
That would be interesting.
It should float. But I don't know if it will float.
Dylan, you gonna make it float?
He can't hear you.
Yeah, you can. Through Mo's phone.
No.
You gonna make it float?
It's delayed, though. You got about an 8 or 10 second delay. Water butter. Well, we're live from Destin, and we're going to let y'all get back to it since we've already kept you for 38 minutes. Just one more view there. This is, to me, it's one of the most beautiful places on earth. It's just, there's traffic here is horrendous. Like,
that's awful.
For 5 miles, you go, it's like 20 minutes to go 5 miles or some nonsense, but if you stay in your condo and we buy groceries and eat lunch and breakfast here, and it's just really, it's a blessing to be able to come do this. Build an ark. No, I'm not building an ark. I haven't been told to do that yet. But if I'm told, I'm building it.
Oh, Lord. Good gracious. Yep. All right,
last question. Last question. Crone gets the last question. What type of finish would you use for coasters? Coasters can be, I would just soak them in mineral oil and then just put some type of board butter or butcher block conditioner on them. That's what I would do.
Oh, Becca says she likes the almost 40-minute show. 40 to 45 is a winner in her book.
Yep.
Thank you, Becca.
Yep.
All right, guys.
Yep. Thank you for joining us for the first ever live on location. And we hope to do some more of these actually maybe in somebody's wood shop. So
yes.
Think about that one.
Yeah, look out.
All right. Yeah, have a good night.
Night, y'all.